Good morning, everyone. So we got the Ghostly Glades tournament this week, and this will be sort of an expert division guide for this tournament. I did want to talk about the balls. So, especially for expert and master division, there are some very, very good balls available this tournament. So the dead ball, which is wind resistance 3, power 4. So basically one more power than a Kingmaker with the same wind resistance. And the mummy ball, which is just the opposite, which is power 3, which is the same as Kingmaker and more wind resistance. Two amazing balls, especially they're alright for expert, amazing balls for master tournaments. And then you also have the eyeball, which is the same as the Bandera ball from the Cinco de Mayo tournament. And wind resistance 5 balls can be useful in expert tournaments, but super useful in master tournaments. So pumpkin balls, just Kingmakers with cool special effects. But definitely some good balls available if you need them. You definitely don't need any special balls for expert. You can absolutely get away with just Kingmakers. So I'm going to sort of do a worst case scenario video. So I'm sure a lot of people have Thor's Hammer. I think Thor's Hammer 4 would be perfect for this course. But I'm going to do a worst case scenario video. So I'm going to do, this will be my bag number 1, which would be where I need distance, and I'll use extra mile. And bag number 2 will be the quarterback, where I need more accuracy. And I think I'll be using Titans for the most part. So, hole number 1, I will go with the extra mile bag. And like I said, this is a worst case scenario type thing. If you have, I think Apocalypse 5 has enough backspin. So if you have Apocalypse 5, or Thor's Hammer 4, definitely go with those two over this. So, extra mile 7, I'm going to go full backspin and left spin. And I want to land right here. So, what I'm going to do, this club is 2.4 per ring. I'm going to play about 20% extra wind. So I'm going to try to put the edge of my 5th ring, which is 12 miles per hour, roughly where I want to land. And that's an over adjustment, of course. And then use just a little bit of curl, no overpower. And because I did over just a little bit, that should still be alright. Ooh, just barely. But yeah. So I over adjusted for the wind, but I initially set up about 2 rings away from the rough on the left side, which is what allowed me to hit a great ball right there with the extra mile, which is a super inaccurate club, and still get away perfectly clean with no trouble at all. So easy eagle right there. No issues at all, really. And as you can see, there are trees now on this hole. So definitely want to be aware of those. So we're close enough to make a dunk super easy. Maybe. So yeah, easy eagles, all you really want there. If you do have Thor's Hammer, yeah, Thor's Hammer 4 or above, you definitely can line things up a lot better and try to go for the hole-in-one. but I just really don't have that option with an extra mile 6 or 7 or whatever. I just don't have enough backspin, so all I'm doing is trying to get over and trying to get my eagle. So moving on to hole number 2. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead, and as you can see, it's a par 3. I'm going to go and switch over to the second bag just for, I guess if I was going to play the shootout, that's why I would want the quarterback, but I'm not going to play the shootout, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm not going to qualify today with this account. I think I'm most likely going to play it in Master, but we'll see. See what the wins look like in Master Division. So that's why I'm not planning on qualifying today. But as you can see, off to a good start there. You want to definitely get that eagle on number 1 if you can, because that'll put you on pace for a minus 13, which I believe is going to be what the par score is for this tournament. At least in the expert division. We'll have to see what number 4 looks like. If number 4 is playing really easy, then maybe the par score isn't minus 13, but, well, no, I think it is minus 13 just because there's no way we're going to be able to guarantee that we get the eagle on number 4 like we were on number 1, so I don't think we can drive the green. That'd be pretty wild if we could. Let's get rid of these rival balls. So max club's right there. So I'm gonna play this at max club. 1 top spin, 1 left spin. Maybe. And aim the ball guide out just a little bit left of the hole. And then, like I said, 1 per ring. So really quickly, I think that was like 7.5, maybe. Hopefully. Oh. So just need a little more topspin there. Maybe 1.5 bar topspin and 1 bar of left spin. But I think that hole's gonna be a really easy hole in one. One you're definitely gonna want to get. So, as I said, I will be forfeiting, but I'm not gonna not take a couple easy wins when they're offered to me. You definitely can use one of those new mummy balls on this hole. This would be perfect use for it. Just because I think I had a 7.7 wind, and it'll probably knock it down to 6.5 or so. So hole number 3, we're going to stick with our quarterback bag. I've seen the wind already on this hole, and it's a side wind, so there's really no worries at all. And I will go ahead and forfeit into this hole so we don't have to wait to get opponents. But this hole should be a very easy eagle. Definitely a disappointment if you can't get the eagle in this hole. So I'm gonna go Titan here. I think 3 topspin. Yeah, so we'll go 3 top spin and 4 right spin. And I'm gonna aim kind of like that. And then we'll go 8.5 rings. And as you can see, a lot of curl there, just because everything's kind of trying to pull us to the left. The wind's trying to pull us that way. The angle that we're hitting off of the tee box is trying to pull us that way. So definitely want to curl it back to the right and keep ourselves away from all the trouble. Definitely would recommend an accuracy driver here. Extra mile is not a good option for this hole, just because if you miss perfect ball to the left, you're going to end up in the bunker, and if you miss the perfect ball to the right, you could hit the rough on that first island. So definitely not a recommendation from me to play extra mile on this hole. So I'm gonna set up something like that and play like 9 rings, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, probably won't go in with a great ball, but well. Ooh. Yeah, so it looks like I think that would have still ended up left, even with a perfect ball. So probably needed to aim just a little bit farther out to the right. But as you can see there, very easy eagle. So we've taken easy eagles on hole number 1 and 3 now. So definitely on pace for minus 13. An expert, we definitely want to get at least one more though. Because all these par 4s are really short. And yeah. I think minus 14 will definitely be my goal in the expert division. So minus 28 for the weekend round. So I will forfeit there, start getting some replays, get this moving a little faster. So hole number 4. So let's go ahead and just see what our best case scenario for this hole is. We can always lay up in the very first fairway and get our birdie that way. But I want to see what the best case scenario is. Like, can we reach the green? Can we get down there in eagle chip range? What is possible, really? Could we drive the green? So that's a great shot right there. We'd like to do roughly exactly the same thing if we could. But how does this look? Not good. So as you can see, we kind of have a little bit of a headwind, and that's really what's discouraging me from trying that. So, won't do that. So I'm going 4 topspin here, and we're going to have to curl it as well. So I'm going to overplay the rings here as well. So there's 5 and 7. And hopefully we can still miss that bunker. So if you don't have Apocalypse 5, definitely not a big deal at all. You can just overpower it a little bit more. Or this may be a good use for a dead ball, if you're okay with using those. Because with a dead ball, you're getting, I believe, 3% extra power. So my Apocalypse is 200, well, we'll say like 230 yard driver, like a Thor's hammer. 3% extra of that is 7 yards. So if you have like an Apocalypse 4 or Extra Mile 6, that's 234 yards plus 7 extra that you get from the dead ball, puts you 241, which is exactly the same as Apocalypse 5. So plenty of options, either a little bit of overpower or a dead ball. So we're at about minimum distance. I'm gonna go full backspin, 1 left spin, and aim maybe 1 full green grid behind the hole. And then from here, I'm gonna go roughly 3 rings, I think. I'm not at mid-distance, but I'm going to play about mid-distance numbers. And that might get in. Yep. So, definitely one we're going to want to get in the tournament, for sure. Not that difficult, and it really just comes down to perfect ball. As you can see, I could have even aimed farther behind the hole than I did. And still had enough backspin to bring it back. So I aimed 1 green grid behind the hole. You can definitely aim farther back behind than that, because I was pretty close to not even getting far enough back there. So hole number 5. It's going to be a par 3. So we'll go with bag number 2 here with our quarterback. I don't think we'll need the quarterback, but just in case we do. So with the straight tailwind here, this is actually going to be a really easy shot. Maybe not easy to make a hole-in-one, but definitely going to be an easy shot to execute. So, we brought our sniper, and I believe we're just going to use max backspin. No. So I'm going to use I'm going to go something like that. I'm going to go 4.5 backspin. As you can see, it looks like my ball is just going to barely trickle on the green. I'm going to go 5 backspin. And I'm going to adjust about 20% extra, so I'm going to go 11 rings. So there's 6 and 11. And I did just the slightest bit of right curl. You don't need much. Ooh, so not bad at all there. I would not take off backspin. Go 5 backspin. And I think if I would make one adjustment there, I'd probably go 10 rings instead of 9. So adjust that at about 0.9 per ring on your sniper. So I had 9 wind. If you divide 9 by 0.9, you'd get 10 rings instead of 11. That would be how I would recommend going about that, because if you try to take off backspin on a super downwind hole like that, it's going to get you in trouble and you're going to end up going way longer than you think you would. So I'm looking pretty good to not qualify here. Hole number 6, I think I'm going to stick with the same bag. Unless we just have an absolutely raging headwind, I think quarterback is going to be plenty. And even then, if we do have a raging headwind, I'll just waste one of my mummy balls. But we don't. So, I'm gonna go 2.5 topspin here. Ooh, maybe 2 topspin. This is more downwind than I think it's been in the past. So I'm gonna aim something like this, and I'm just gonna use a lot of curl to bring it back. So 10 rings. And something like that. Oh. So I think I may have overpowered that. Got way too close to the rough right there. So definitely something to be careful of. And as you can see, I made it really far down there without even using more than 2 topspin. So there's really no reason to get even as aggressive as I got right there. So just something to keep in mind. You can aim even farther away from the rough than I did and be just fine. So you can go over here to the left. What that's going to give you, assuming you can make it far enough down there, which it looks like you can, is it's going to give you a straight downwind second shot. So definitely something to consider. So I'm getting a 1.5 backspin here. And aim something like that. So since we kind of have a side wind, I'm gonna do my full 8 ring adjustment. Typically I'd probably go about 7 rings here, being at mid club, but the side wind is just gonna push the ball so far to the right that yeah, so that was pretty close. So one per ring there looks pretty good with where I landed my drive. But definitely over adjust just slightly on a side wind like that, just because the side wind's going to push the ball more left to right after the first bounce. The second, third, and fourth bounces are just going to keep getting pushed farther to the right than the ball guide would show. So I'm glad our opponent played this way. Show you probably the 2 ways to play this hole. I wouldn't bring a basic ball obviously, but I think rough bump probably is a pretty good idea from here. Oh man, so as you can see, That's probably definitely a really good way to play this hole. So, two pretty close albatross attempts right there. You can play that hole either way, whichever feels more comfortable to you. If I do play, I probably will go to the left like that. Just because I like that shot that my opponent just hit, so switch up bag number 1 here, and we'll put in Thor's Hammer instead of Apocalypse, just to get a more realistic, club for most expert players. It will be interesting though. Apocalypse 5, 6, and 7 may be able to drive the green, but I don't know. Ooh. Yeah. Definite possibility that those 3 clubs could drive the green. Still trying to think. So just for giggles, I'm not going to hit this shot, but what would it look like? Honestly, with one of these new ghost balls, I could see an Apocalypse getting there. I really could. So let's go like 3 topspin. Just put the ball in play here. Typical 5-ring adjustment. But yeah, I think with the ghost ball, I think this hole may be a little bit downhill as well. So, I mean, I definitely could see someone getting there. You would want like an Apocalypse 6 though. Apocalypse 6 or more. So I really wouldn't worry about it. If you're not one of those players that doesn't have an Apocalypse 6. Because not many expert players do have Apocalypse 6, so. And even for those 0.5% that do maybe, it's going to take a very, very well played shot to get the eagle, so. I don't think too much of an advantage there, but we'll see as the week goes on. It may end up being a really big advantage. So roughly mid club here. So I'm gonna aim kind of like that, I guess, and I play about 2 per ring, maybe 1.8 per ring. So play roughly 6 rings. And see if that's any closer or not. Yeah, this green is just crazy bumpy. I don't have a good way to play this hole just yet. But that will get you your easy birdie right there, which is, I think, what the vast majority of people will be taking on this hole. Someone may figure out a way to eagle it by the end of the week, but I certainly have not figured it out just yet. So let's go with our quarterback bag here, just in case we need it. but I'm thinking this is going to be a sniper shot. If you do have a Thor's Hammer 6 or 7, this definitely would not be a bad shot. I don't know why a guy with Thor's Hammer 7 is in an expert weekly league, but more power to him. I will be playing the bump shot with the sniper though. Probably no backspin, probably no spin at all, honestly. Yeah. So, just for this first try, I'm gonna set it just a little bit long and right of the hole, no spin. And just play full 10 rings. So, 5 and 10. And see if that's any close at all. It'll probably end up a little bit left of the hole, just because of the wind pushing it back that way. Yeah. So there's really two ways you can go about that. You can either adjust another ring or two, or you can use like a little bit of side spin, or yeah, I mean there's a few different ways you can go about that. So hole number 9. I'm hoping that Thor's Hammer is enough. We'll assume it is. So we have eagled 2 of the par 4s so far in this round, so I'm on pace for minus 14 right now, which is exactly what I wanted. Holy moly. Wow. You're going to be able to drive the green on this hole if you have an Apocalypse 5 or more. Wow. That's pretty shocking. I can't believe they gave this wind. Well, dang, I kind of wish I'd have brought my Apocalypse now, but oh well. No big deal. So I'm just going to do the same thing as my opponent right there. So right where my target is right now is about where I'm going to land with no overpower. So I think I just need just a little bit of overpower. And I think that should easily get us over to the other side, which is going to get us our easy eagle. Wow, I cannot believe they set this hole up like this. So definitely a huge advantage if you have an Apocalypse 5 on this hole. My guess would be with the Berserker, but definitely one of those new Ghost Balls or Snow Globe or whatever. You can absolutely drive this green. So huge advantage if you have an Apocalypse 5 or more. But as you can see, you still do have an albatross chance over here from this left side, and at the very least a very easy eagle. So I'm going to leave the ball guide short of the hole, kind of like this, maybe. I don't really know, this is kind of awkward. And then I'll go about 9 rings, since I'm at mid-club. And that should just be an easy eagle. Oh, man. So, definitely do have an albatross chance from that way, but holy moly, I cannot believe they set the hole up and gave the Apocalypse 5 guys that big of an advantage. I may be wrong, maybe they can't reach, but I'm 98% sure that they can, so 98% sure, especially with the snow globe or the new ghost ball. But as you can see, not too difficult of a course this tournament, which is a little bit disappointing. I prefer harder tournaments, but this tournament's really just going to be about executing. There will be people shooting minus 32, minus 34 in this tournament. In Master Weekly Leagues, but I think 28 is a good goal. 28 will probably get you, I'd say, top 5 at worst. So definitely a good goal to have there is if you can just repeat exactly what I just did, which would get you a minus 14. Definitely would get you at least top 5 in expert, I would think. So that's how I see it, and that's how I would play all these holes except number 9. I would definitely want to redo on that one with Apocalypse 5 since I have that on this account, but definitely pretty easy. Super easy minus 13, and wasn't too difficult to get the minus 14, so hopefully you guys find some shots in here that are useful for you and can help you out and make your rounds a little bit easier. So with that, I'll sign off, so good luck with your rounds, guys.